Hey, how's it going? I'm Chris with PearsonCopy.com, and I'm here to help your brand make more sales with email. As a part of my 100 emails in 100 days breakdown challenge, I am breaking down an email from Thomas Earnshaw Timepieces. This email is their back in stock email, and you can send these out based on per product or collection, or even to your entire list if a certain item comes back in stock. Most of the time, subscribers sign up to get these notifications, so they're on a separate list or they're segmented out. So if anything comes back in stock, they get an email. In some cases, you can just send these out to your entire list. Or category buyers if you have it segmented properly, and it'll get this new back in stock item in front of people, and it can generate a ton of sales for you because they've been waiting for it, and or since it is back in stock and there's scarcity and urgency, which we'll talk about what Thomas Earnshaw does here later in the email. That scarcity and urgency can actually drive a ton of sales. So with that being said, that's the context. Let me go ahead and dive in and break this one down. So the first piece here is the subject line. So this is the back in stock subject line. Very direct, very straightforward. Not a whole lot special here. It's basically telling you, hey, this is back in stock. It doesn't tell you what item is actually back in stock. So there is some curiosity to that. I would test a couple other subject lines against this. Maybe back in stock : the name of the watch, or back in stock, maybe 3 words that define the watch. So real, elegant, and commanding, or maybe some other versions of that. Maybe even more curiosity-driven subject lines, or even the outcomes that this watch delivers to the customer based on what they want, either status, reputation, compliments, something, and see if those frameworks or those types of subject lines will get more opens. Because in general, the more opens you get, the more eyeballs you have on your products, the more eyes you have on your products, the more likely you're to make sales. So that's what I would do with the subject line here. Next piece, talked about this a lot in the other videos. Brand name as the from name, and the info at email address here as the from email address. The one thing I would say here is that make sure that your email address that you're actually sending from, it can be replied to. The no reply email addresses are actually hurting your brand and hurting your business. You're not going to get replies from people, and if they do try to reply and it says, hey, this email delivery failed or whatever it is, they're going to not trust you or not believe that you're going to help them if they do ask for it. So having a reply to address actually helps a ton. And those reply emails, those replies, could be 1 or 2 questions, and you make a sale. And that's all. It's really just a couple questions that are in the way of the customer actually buying, and having them being able to reply and you respond to them is huge. It doesn't mean you're gonna have to man this 24/7, but having the reply option there helps. Next piece here, so can't see this email view in your browser. If you're using a design first principles or designing out your emails, having this helps, because some providers either block, filter, or distort images when it's in the inbox. Some people could be looking on the phone, they could be looking at on their desktop, tablets, etc., and the images just could not look right, depending on how it's coded or how it's uploaded and sent. So having this here can help a ton, because then people can click on this button and it'll open in their browser, and they can view the email and the design and everything you worked to actually send. Next piece here is going to be the name of the brand, Earnshaw, the logo itself, and then the menu items at the top here. So 2 things here. One, I like the logo. I like the name here. It's small. It's not intrusive. It doesn't steal your eyes away as you're scrolling down. It's just, hey, you're in the right place. This is what you opened, Earnshaw, London. And we're going to move into the content. The second thing here is the menu item here. You're sending a back in stock email. So this back in stock email, the intent here is to say, hey, this one item or this collection of items is back. You should go buy this item or these collections of items. It's one email, one focus. When you put these items in here, or these menu items in here, what it does is it spreads that focus out, so people they consider something other than the one watch that you sent about, or one item you sent about. So what that does is it distracts them, right? You're distracting your customer from the one thing you want them to do, which is buy the Heritage Longitude watch, right? So that's why I would test removing this menu and just moving this image up, replacing that menu with this image, and just not having it, and see if that gets you better clicks and sales. Simply because when you put things in the way here like this, it could distract them. It could get in the way. They could click on reviews, go read reviews, and then not buy, just because they got distracted. It puts more time between them and the sale, right? Somebody who's ready to buy something, they're as close to the sale as, I'm going to give you my credit card or my cash, and you're going to give me the thing. Why would you move them backwards in the sales process to have them go start shopping for something else that they didn't know they wanted yet or don't want at all? That's why I'd say these back in stock emails overall should be a one thing, one focus, one email. Whereas if you're doing more like content value based, nurturing or anything like that, more top of the funnel or early in the sales process with email, you can do multiple things in one email. I don't think it's as effective to do multiple focuses in each email, just as a principle. But you can have success doing that earlier in the buying cycle. Whereas this one's really close to the sale. It's like this is almost like an impulse, right? It's an impulse sale of like back in stock, get it now before everybody else gets their buys it out, gets theirs, right? And that's an impulse buy. It's an urgency scarcity. So trying to move them away from that impulse or that scarcity or the urgency, it's probably not going to work. I would test against this and see if removing this menu helps. The next piece here is going to be the actual branded image here of the item of the product, the Heritage Longitude. This looks like a full graphic. And so they have the watch here that's being worn as a demonstration, right? Demonstration of power, demonstration of use. So they have that there. And then they have the name and the color. So we have Heritage Longitude, Stealth Black, and the CTA for Shop Now, which I think this design here, pretty gorgeous, pretty spot on. I don't know if I like a whole lot about that glare, if I remove that, because I kind of want to see this a little bit better. But yeah, this is a great photo otherwise. And then the focus of this email, I think, really is just this block of copy here. So the reason I wanted to do this breakdown is because of this copy. It covers 4 different elements that you want to try and insert in your copy when you can, because it's part of the offer, part of the guarantee. So let me read this paragraph to you, and then I'll break it down here per item and just kind of explain what that means. So this here says, the Regal Elegant Commanding Longitude is a bestseller. It is now back in stock. This watch moves quickly, so act now to secure yours for just $149 and join other satisfied collectors and fans. So there's a few things here. The first thing is the reason for sending. So if you're sending a back in stock email, you're sending because it's back in stock. Like somebody either signed up to get notified, or you're sending it to your list to say, hey, just want to let you know this item's back in stock. So that's element number 1. Element number 2 is going to be urgency and scarcity. It has both. So this offer has both of those. This watch moves quickly. It's a bestseller. Act now to secure yours, right? So all of those things point to you have to buy it now or you're going to miss out. And there's not many of them because they've been sold out before. So that's the second big element. The third one's the price. They put the price directly in this email so that you don't have to go searching for it. You can say it's $149. Can I buy it now? Yes, shop now. And knowing what the price is, plus these other 3 elements, is going to take the momentum of going from clicking to shop now to going to the cart to buying. It's going to push people through that process. It's going to give them momentum to actually make the purchase. Brands that do some kind of like brands that use scarcity and urgency but don't put the price next to it or near it could potentially be losing sales because people are like, oh, I have to buy it now. Then I have to go search for the price and then decide later after they've already, that urgency and scarcity is kind of worn off. Putting prices next to urgency and scarcity actually helps create that momentum to get them through the checkout process to actually make the purchase. And then the final item here, or final element, I should say, is identity. So you get through the style of the watch, you get through the urgency, scarcity, the price, and then they tie in the person, their ideal customer's identity to this of buy this for $149 and join other satisfied collectors and fans. So if you're a collector and or a fan of these types of watches or just watches in general, this is the watch you should buy because it is your identity. Like we know that's what you're buying it for, and this is why we sell it. So you have those 4 elements. You have the reason for sending, which is huge. You have urgency and scarcity, which drives people to the checkout, and you have the price, which creates that momentum to actually have them buy because they've already decided before they even click through, do I want this right now for $150? Do I want to buy this now? Yes or no? And if they say yes, that carries them through that checkout process to make the purchase. And then just for like icing on the cake, cherry on top, they say, hey, by the way, join other satisfied collectors and fans. So there's an identity piece and it says, yes, you're in the right place. It's the right purchase for you because if you're one of these 2, a collector or a fan of watches or our watches in general, this is the right purchase. So yeah, this paragraph here, it's actually 2 sentences, right? Yeah, 2 sentences. Carries a lot of weight in this email. I would even test against this entire back in stock email. Don't even use images and just use this copy and expand on it a little bit and just take the copy that's in these images and the graphics, write it into the email and just make it plain text and say, hey, this is the back in stock for the Heritage Longitude Stealth Black. And this copy, and then shop now to go get yours before it sells out or something. I would test against this image, this design first email against just a plain text and see how it does. That's something I think all brands should test because not all brands can get away from all of design. There is going to be some design elements, I think, in most brands, but the majority of it, you can actually spend less on design, use plain text, and actually get more sales. So I would test against all your design first emails and go plain text and see what it does and see how your list reacts to it. The final couple pieces here, we have again the watch again with a power demonstration of where, or demonstration of use, demonstration of power. And then you have another CTA shop now, and then thanks to Tom's Earnshaw team. So the sign off here. Then you have your socials, your logo, and your footer information. So like I said earlier with these socials, these socials, I would not have them in here because this is a back in stock. This is a direct offer. This is not a relationship building, trust building email. I would focus on trying to get people to buy this item. So why would I send them to social? I don't want them bouncing around and potentially losing the sale because they went to Instagram and got caught in their feed and they're gone now, or Facebook, or even YouTube watching a video. So I would remove socials and test against that, and just focus on one thing that this email is trying to do. Is a direct offer for the Heritage Longitude Stealth Black to get people who wanted to know about it to buy it now. And I think this copy makes the argument that this is a direct offer, because this is direct offer copy. So with that being said, that's pretty much it for this email. I guess the 2 or 3 big insights here: 1, test your subject lines for back in stock, see if you can get more creative, more curious, just try different frameworks to see if you can get better open rates. Let's see here. The next thing, I would test removing this menu and see if it actually gets better clicks, because you're not having people click through these menu items and it's not distracting them from actually buying the item. And the final piece here, I think the final insight is test your back in stock email against a plain text email. Like test this one against a plain text and see which one's actually going to get the best clicks and sales. While watches are visually appealing, and they are a visual element or visual product that people wear for style, for reputation, for status, using plain text could and has worked for other brands that I've seen, so that it might work better than this one to get clicks and sales. So I would test against that. So those are the 3 big insights from this email. Like I said, if you want to watch other videos of mine on YouTube, you can. It's over on my channel. I'm going to be doing 100 emails in 100 days as a breakdown challenge, so go check those out. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Thanks.